How vicious can bullying in schools be? Throwing the classmates' books and backpacks into the mud puddle, carve curse words on his desk, put the carcasses of animals on his table. He even set fire to his home. This kind of diabolical bullying. This makes me, a blogger who specializes in revenge plots, feel horrified. Next 13-14 seconds. An in-depth explanation of the spring of triangle grass. Victim Chunhua's road to revenge. Chunhua still doesn't know why she was bullied. Got home that day. My sister and parents looked at the shocking scars on her body. I felt sorry for her and cried bitterly while holding her in my arms. Early the next morning, her father took her to the teacher to ask for an explanation, but the teacher's response to bullying is surprisingly indifferent. He didn't even look up at Chunhua. I just asked my father to bear with me in a business-like tone. He explained, "This town is about to be abandoned. There are only a few dozen students left in the school. He is the only teacher. Schools will be closed soon. So in this matter, he can't offer any help." The father turned around and left in disappointment, just walked down the stairs. A student who often bullied Chunhua suddenly rushed up to her, kick him to the ground hard. What's more vicious is, the soles of her shoes are covered with dense nails. At the same time, Chunhua, who just returned to the classroom, looking at the animal carcasses stuffed into the desk, being at a loss where I am. Xiang Chang can't stand it anymore. Speak out against the bullies and report to the teacher. I hope he can stand up and stop it. But the teacher listened to what he said. Showing fear, covering his mouth, he ran out of the classroom and vomited. She didn't lie. In this matter, she can't give any help. After experiencing all this, Jin Shen, my father is completely disappointed with the school. He endured the pain in his body and blamed himself. It's all my fault that my job transfer to this small town hurt Chunhua. Fortunately, graduation is not far away. She asked Chunhua not to go to school again, just stay at home quietly. Spring flowers that don't have to go to school anymore. A long-lost smile finally appeared on his face. But the bullying didn't disappear just because she was gone. The bullies soon targeted Liu Mei in the class. Order him to persuade Chunhua to return to school. Otherwise, the next target will be what she is afraid of. Liu Mei came to Chunhua's house. He timidly borrowed a CD first, secretly took another photo. Even if Chunhua doesn't agree to go back to school, these can also prove that she has been here. Sure enough, Chunhua made it clear and firm that she would not go back. Liu Mei heard the answer. Sure enough, he became the next target. Locked in a tin cabinet, the bullies beat them hard with wooden sticks. They even had their hair cut off. Liu Mei blamed all the misfortunes on Chunhua, started to resent her. At this time, the spring flowers are enjoying a rare peace. She and her sister were walking in the woods of the town, with a smile on face, enjoying the long-lost sunshine. I also met a classmate from Iba who was taking photos of triangle grass. Xiang Cheng told him, "It's autumn now. Wait until spring comes. Countless triangle grasses will grow here. Very beautiful." This classmate who was willing to speak out for her made Chunhua feel good about her. The two of them chatted and discovered that Xiang Chang is also a transfer student. After his parents died, he moved in with his grandma. Both transfer students. Two lonely hearts get closer. After school that day, make an appointment with Chunhua on the stage. She likes photography. Keep holding the camera to take pictures of the scenery of the town. Look at those beautiful pictures framed by the camera. Chunhua finally felt the long-lost comfort in her heart. Xiang Cheng stopped suddenly, apologized sincerely. She said she regretted not being able to stand up and help her earlier. She promised to protect her in the future. Those words word for word, like a warm current falling into the heart of a spring flower. The two of them played until dark before slowly walking back. I met two girls from a bullying group on the road. When they saw the spring flowers, they showed fear on their faces, ran away in panic. Chunhua hasn't realized what happened yet. The scene of fire in the distance attracted his attention. That's actually the direction of his home. Spring flowers rush over like crazy. However, the raging flames have devoured everything. She cried and wanted to rush in and save her family, being stopped by Xiang Chang. Like the field rushed in by itself. Not long after, he walked out holding his sister who had been burned beyond recognition. That night, Chun Hua cried and became hoarse. Parents couldn't escape. Only my sister, covered in bandages, survived. Later, Chun Hua moved to her grandfather's house, lived there temporarily. Chun Hua is still immersed in the grief of losing her parents. The arsonists were talking and laughing, as if nothing happened. Only two people had scared expressions on their faces, but it was soon covered by the laughter of others. Winter has arrived. Heavy snow covers the whole town. Chun Hua, who had not been seen for a long time, suddenly returned to school. In the shocked eyes of everyone, he sat back down where he had been without saying a word. Xiang Chang found him during recess. Say if you need help. She is always there. But Chun Hua's throat had already been crying that night. Can't say anything for now. After school, 3 girls among the bullies surrounded him. The leader is called Xiaoju. He took the other 2 people and forced Chun Hua into an uninhabited forest. Use a sharp needle to push spring flowers into a large mud puddle. He saw that Chun Hua already knew that they were responsible for the arson. In order to eradicate the weeds, he roped in 3 people and prepared to kill and silence them. Just when Xiaoju was about to take action, Chun Hua's hand touched an iron nail in the mud. Xiaoju is defenseless. Chun Hua used all her strength to pierce the iron nails into her eyes. Blood splatter. Xiaoju screamed and stood up. Spring flowers pick up sticks on the ground. Keep hitting Xiaoju's body until the other party completely loses his life. The bully who once showed off his power. He was beaten to death in the mud like this. The other 2 accomplices were frightened out of their wits, screaming and trying to crawl out of the mud pit. Keep begging for mercy. But Chun Hua is no longer the girl who allowed others to bully her. He cut off a man's finger, cut another person's Achilles tendon, make it impossible for them to escape, and then keep waving the stick and sending them on their way. This pit they used to bully others eventually became their tomb. Later, Chun Hua found another arsonist on his only way. He took advantage of it, stabbed him in the stomach with a knife. Then he used a knife to cut open his proud face. His expression ranged from shock to fear. Even if I beat myself to death, I wouldn't even think of it. Chun Hua, who was once weak and easy to bully, has become like a god of death. Blood keeps flowing along the wound. He ran away in fear. I made a mistake and fell down the cliff. My legs were broken and I could no longer escape. Chun Hua didn't go down to give him a good time. Just turn around and leave. Let her watch her blood drain out in endless pain. The snow is falling more and more. The exhausted spring flowers fell asleep. Uneasy, I came to visit him at home. Chun Hua's grandfather received him, regarding my granddaughter being bullied. The old man knows it well. He told Xiang Chang, after Chun Hua graduates, take her away from here to Tokyo. Please ask her to help take care of you during this time. The spring flower nods to the elder and makes a promise. I will definitely protect her. The 2 remaining bullies have discovered that 4 of them have lost contact. They called Liu Mei. Let him find those 3 girls. Soon Liu Mei came to the mud pit where they often came. The bodies of 3 bullies were found inside. AHHHHH. He screamed in fear. In panic, he took out his cell phone. Rush to tell the bullies what you have discovered. Early the next morning, the remaining 2 bullies lurked near Grandpa Chun Hua's house. I followed him quietly as he was going out. Triangle grass that only blooms in spring. Flowers actually bloomed in the cold winter. Spring flowers are attracted by this strange sight. Kneel down and take a closer look. At this moment, the bully behind him raised his crossbow and aimed it at him. The arrow passed by. No hit. Chun Hua didn't panic. As if everything was expected, he used a red umbrella as cover. When the 2 caught up to him, there is only one lonely umbrella left on the ground. The spring flowers have long since disappeared. The 2 decided to search separately. Soon, one of the fat men discovered the spring flowers. He just stood there, as if waiting for him. The fat man rushed up and knocked him down. He took out his pellet air gun and threatened him not to move. Looking at Chunhua's face up close, the fat man suddenly froze. Eyes become obsessed. He lowered his head to kiss. Chunhua turned her head in disgust. This moment angered the fat man. He took out his knife and prepared to execute him. Critical moment. The spring flower takes out the hidden pliers, reach into the fat man's nostrils, severely cut off his nose. The heartbreaking pain made the fat man scream. The cry attracted another companion holding a crossbow. The companion raised his crossbow and began to take aim. Chunhua quickly ducked behind the fat man. Arrow shot hit the fat man in the head. The fat man thought his companion was going to kill him. Pounce on the opponent angrily. The two were fighting. Fat man gets his throat kicked, completely out of breath. While they are killing each other, Chunhua has already circled behind the last bully. Stab him in the stomach with a knife. Cut it open with force. The hulls are scattered all over the place. His body slowly fell down. On the other side, after Rumi discovered the body, fearfully, she called Teiko, the last bully, told all the truth. It turns out that the real culprit in the arson case was himself. Rumi has been secretly in love with Teiko. She enjoyed being bullied by Teiko. Every time I'm bullied, I can't help but laugh happily. But she still doesn't understand. Why did Teiko focus on Haruka? As long as the spring flowers are there, Liu Mei will become a transparent person. Can't get any attention from Teiko? When I learned that Chunhua would not come to school, he secretly rejoiced. I thought Teiko would finally notice him, but what was waiting for him was an order for him to call Chunhua back to school. That moment, jealousy and resentment grew crazily in his heart. That was the day he would say such vicious words as wishing Chunhua to die. He also came up with the idea of arson, because you were surprised to see this one of yours too. That day, Liu Mei was carrying a bucket of kerosene and was going to Chunhua's house. Other bullies have the mentality of watching a good show, keep saying things that irritate her. But what she cares about most is Teiko's attitude. But this time Teiko didn't join in the sin and just turned around and went home. Rumi called her relentlessly. Taiga is too incompetent for day. These two words actually became encouragement in Rumi's heart. She came to Chunhua's house. Throw the kerosene down without hesitation. Runhua's mother rushed out to stop Liu Mei. Just pour kerosene on her. The accomplice next to him lit a match and threatened him if he dared to speak out. Just light it up next time. They were intended to be just threats. But the match burns my fingers. Make him subconsciously let go. Burning match dropped, instantly ignited the kerosene on the ground and Chunhua's mother's body. In raging fire, mother screams in pain. The father and sister who attracted spring flowers. These demons are afraid that things will be exposed. Directly kill people and silence them. Shoot his father in the leg first. Make it impossible for him to escape. Then Liu Mei entered the house and poured kerosene on it. Finally set the whole house on fire. Life and death. The father used his body to protect his young sister. The flames engulfed him, but he left the last glimmer of life for his daughter. After Teiko learned the truth, I scolded Liu Mei severely on the phone. Then hang up the phone. She bit her hand. Let the blood stain your palms red. I never thought things would develop to this point. It turns out that when the spring flowers first came, he and Teiko used to be very good friends. As they got along, Teiko slowly fell in love with her. But later Chunhua and Xiangchang got closer and closer. This feeling of not being able to love let Teiko's heart change from love to hate. She started bullying Chunhua. Just want to get her attention. But there is a boy among the bullies who likes Teiko. Saw Teiko bullying Haruka. Thought that was someone she hated. Then he dragged two boys to join him. There are more and more bullies. In the end, a group was formed specifically to bully Chunhua. Until today, only then did Teiko realize that everything was out of control. She just wants to date Chunhua. I never thought it would turn into arson and murder. Guilt drove him to find Chunhua, return the CD that Liu Mei had taken away. The two sat outside and chatted for a long time. Teiko knelt on the ground and begged for forgiveness. For the sake of Takeo not participating in the arson, Chunhyua forgave her. Takeo felt relieved and walked home. Liu Mei suddenly rushed out from the roadside, holding the knife, eyes full of madness. He hates that Takeo never cares about him. I hated Takeo and went to find Chunhyua again. Li Min, where is my head? Takeo is underestimating her enemy here. He didn't expect. Liu Mei, who is usually transparent and weak, actually resorts to cruelty. One gets one, one gets one, one gets, one gets. Anu is too long. I must give it to you. Takeo was angry and ready to rush for revenge. However, Yumi hit her right eye with a stone. The excruciating pain made Takeo let go of the knife in her hand, sat on the ground. At this time, Liu Mei took the opportunity to rush over. Instead, Takeo counterattacked and kicked him to the ground. Takeo stood up quickly and wanted to grab the knife. Grandpa, 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 Grandpa. Critical moment. Takeo grabbed Yanami's collar, kneeled her in the stomach. Yumi is in pain. I lay down on the ground and vomited for a while.
あなたと作ったことをしたばっかりに死んではみなくそんな意味わかんない。そう私をいやらしい目で見やがって。野崎を殺せば私がなびくとでも思った？タエちゃんのために。タエちゃんのために。気持ち悪い。気持ち悪いんだよ人殺し。タエちゃんのためなのに。
Takeo's words stimulated Liu Mei's pain. She rushed over like crazy. Takeo counterattacked with a knife, scratched Liu Mei's face, but she was stabbed in the body by Liu Mei. In the end, Takeo fell in a pool of blood. Liu Mei turned around and gradually disappeared into the depths of the forest. Chunhyua, who is unaware of all this, answering the phone call from Xiangchang. Last time, Grandpa said he would take Chunhyua to Tokyo after graduation. Xiangchang decided to accompany her. For this reason, he tried his best to convince his grandma. But Chunhyua felt that it was unfair to ask her to change her life plan, rejected her request. The moment the phone is hung up, smashed the phone to pieces like crazy. He is angry. Chunhyua rejected her and became even more angry. He had no idea how much she had to pay to convince her grandma. Until today, Grandma just learned the truth about her parents' death from Xiangchang. Father is a domestic abuser to mother all year round. Xiangchang couldn't bear it, kill him with a knife from behind. But after my father died, no one beat my mother. So Xiangchang beat him on behalf of his father. Beat her to death. In the phone call just now, Xiangchang heard that. Chunhyua actually wants to be with her. But I still have to take care of Grandpa. He decided to go find Chunhyua tomorrow. Grandpa tried to convince him. Early the next morning, the school was surrounded by parents. Parents of missing children block teacher, ask about the whereabouts of the child. They accused the teacher of not having enough supervision. The words become more and more intense. These insults awaken the teacher's dusty memory. He was also the target of bullying when he was young, still living in the shadows. Whenever bullying happens around you, he will vomit out of fear. This is why when he heard about Chunhyua being bullied, regardless of the reason, the insults and accusations made by these parents today, reawakening the fear of bullying in his heart. Madaha, it's you who forgot. Where is my brother Kazi? Hey! The teacher ran away from the school sadly. When he ran to the center of the road, suddenly fell to the ground. At this time, a snow-clearing truck not far away drove over. Seeing danger coming, the teacher's face showed an expression of relief. He didn't struggle. Let yourself be swept under the car, turning into a blood-red mist that fills the sky. In the hospital, Chunhyua is taking care of her sister. Suddenly I saw my grandfather with blood on his face. Emergency transferred to hospital. He hurriedly found the photo studio. I want him to help find out the reason. But she found that the back of her hands were covered with wounds. Xiangchang no longer hides.
でも、俺たちのためにそうしたんだよ。 だって俺たちは
Everyone can go to that spring flower, and then they will understand. Grandpa's injury was actually caused by the phase field. Haven't recovered from the shock yet. Liu Mei walked out of the forest. Saw my parents' murderer. Chun Hua rushed forward angrily. However, she was stabbed to the ground by Liu Mei, who was well prepared. Critical moment. Xiang Cheng rushed up and knocked Liu Mei's fist over, hitting his face like raindrops. Wow wow. Well, he ended up stabbing Rumi through the throat with a branch. Ended her life. Just then, photos of spring flowers scattered from the scene. I found a picture taken on the day of the arson of my father protecting his sister with his body. Confessed to the field. That day he rushed into the fire. See this scene. I was shocked by this picture of father's love as a mountain. I couldn't help but raise my camera and take a picture. Chun Hua was stunned. Xiang Chang's first thought was not to save people. It turned out to be a photo shoot. Plus, the matter of beating Grandpa seriously. He can't stand it anymore. I want to rush in and kill Xiang Chang, but he was no match for being injured. Knocked to the ground instead. Xiang Field kept hitting him. I want to force her to promise to be together forever. How could Run Hua agree? At the last moment when he was about to be beaten to death, the image field stopped. He picked up the camera and wanted to take one last photo of the spring flowers. Record her withered appearance. When the shutter sounds, Chun Hua's hand touched the crossbow arrow that the bully had left here. He tried his best. An arrow accurately shot into Xiang Chang's head. Xiang Chang fell in the snow, and Chun Hua, who was stabbed by Liu Mei and lost too much blood. After all, I couldn't get out of this forest. That piece of triangular grass that only blooms in spring. He can't see it anymore. At the end, Teiko got her diploma. He once again returned to this classroom full of memories in despair. Fantasy about graduating with Chun Hua. Beautiful memories of living in Tokyo. Thinking about it, she walked to the window. There is only endless emptiness in the eyes. As for whether Teiko jumped, this open ending leaves the audience. Maybe this is just Teiko's fantasy before she died. After all, she was seriously injured. There was only a little more than a month between then and graduation. It is very unscientific to completely restore it to what it is now. Campus bullying is never a trivial matter. Those who were bullied, I may be experiencing a silent massacre in my heart every day. You thought it was just a joke. It's a disaster for them. There is no denying that there are exaggerated plots in the movie. But what happened to the 3 junior high school students around us? Case of killing classmate and burying body. But it really happened. Many people always talk about what a child knows. But once the child becomes hungry, that's the creepiest.